Hey guys, it's Megan. Happy to be here. Welcome back to a happy hello. So today is going to be more of a sit down video, and it's a little bit different than the vlog that I have uploaded already. If you want, you can check that out in the cards. And today we're going to be doing a New Year's resolution video. I thought that that would be super fun. So I have my little list right here that I'm going to be referring to throughout the video. And let's get started. So the first thing that I am going to be working on this year is more confident eating. I know that a lot of people tend to say like consistent eating, but for me it's definitely more confident eating. So in recovery from an eating disorder, I have to eat much more frequently than I'm used to. So I'm really trying to work on not just eating more, but I also just want to be more confident with the food that I'm around and enjoying. So that's going to be a big thing that I'm working on this year, is just to be more comfortable and kind of branching out with my food choices and just trying my best to follow my meal plan. So that's kind of the first thing on my list. The next thing, the second and third things actually kind of go together. So I want to work on building a healthy relationship with exercise. So with my eating disorder, I kind of used it as more of a compulsion. So I would just kind of exercise like for way too many hours. And I always felt guilty when I missed a workout, and it was just a really big struggle for me. And it's really hard for me to want to exercise more than 2 or 3 times a week without feeling like I need to be exercising like super constantly. So that is something that I really want to work on this year. And the third thing that kind of goes with that is that I would like to be doing more yoga. I really enjoy yoga. I think it builds a lot of strength, and it also aligns with one of my other goals, which I'll get to a little later. So yoga is definitely something that I want to work on. I'm not very flexible. When I was younger, I did gymnastics, and I would say that I was much more flexible then. I never really enjoyed doing a lot of the activities in gymnastics, but at least I had a chance there to be a little bit more in shape. So I think that yoga will help me be a little more flexible and just kind of building my core strength and whatnot. So I think that's something that I would really like to work on. And Yoga with Adrienne here on YouTube, she does a lot of amazing videos. So I think that that would be something that I would like to work on. The next one is gonna be kind of weird, so I apologize, but it's going to be doing some more dental hygiene. I had a lot of cavities that I had to get filled this past year in 2020, and I really hate the dentist. So I think that this year I want to work on doing more mouthwash and flossing and brushing consistently, and just, you know, and not even just brushing consistently, but like kind of like the eating one, like more confident, like, I don't know, more intense brushing, like, you know, not just like swishing it around. You know, I really want to actually floss and brush really well, because I really don't want to have dentures. A little too young for that. So that is something that I really want to work on, because at night I tend to slack off on it because it's like, oh, it's late, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. So I really want to make sure that this year I'm a little bit more, you know, apt to brushing consistently, so that I don't have to have cavities or root canals or God knows what else, you know, could happen. So definitely want to work on that. The next thing is growing this channel. I really want to continue growing my YouTube channel. I'm really enjoying doing it so far, and I really enjoy doing YouTube. I like that I kind of don't put a lot of pressure on myself to be, you know, uploading consistently or like, you know, 3 times a week or anything, you know, crazy. So that is something that I want to work on, is just, you know, making more videos for you guys. So definitely leave a comment down below if there is anything that you guys want to see more of on this channel. I'd be happy to kind of write it down and see if I can, you know, fit it in the schedule. But just continuing to grow my channel, and I have a website if you didn't know. It's just ahappyhello.com, and I want to start, like, you know, posting on there more, you know, doing more Instagram stories on my Instagram, which is just at ahappyhello. I have a Twitter, which is at ahappyhello2, and just kind of like all of that. I want to like be updating all that stuff much more frequently for you guys, so that you actually feel like it's worth checking out. It's really hard for me to promote something when there's nothing out there, and I feel like I'm just scamming you guys. So that's something that I definitely want to work on. The next thing is going to sound kind of petty if you're a bookworm, but I want to read 3 books this year. I know, you know, all the bookworms out there are like, I read, you know, 125 books, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'm really glad you can read that many books. But for me, reading is just not, I like reading. I used to like reading when I was younger, but now that for school, I'm having to read all the time. And, you know, I'm not reading stuff that I want to be reading. So that kind of like took the fun out of it. So I think that, you know, I'd like to be able to read 3 books this year that I really like, because I'm not a crazy reader. Like, I'll read 1 book and I'll take like a 3-month hiatus. So I kind of want to get into reading a little bit more so that I can find some other books that I enjoy, and just, you know, reading for pleasure without feeling like it has to be for school. I am in my last semester, so I guess I won't be reading for school much longer, but it still would be nice to, you know, pick out a new book to read and actually sit and enjoy reading it. And I think it's hard nowadays when everybody's got the short attention spans. You know, everybody's like, you know, on the computer or TikTok, or just stuff that is more bite-sized when it comes to your consumption. So I think, you know, kind of getting myself some discipline and actually sitting and reading through a whole book would be a really good skill. So I'd like to do that. The next thing is I would like to do some more minimalistic cleaning this year. We have a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of stuff, and I would really like to be able to go through all my stuff and say, you know, this was from my childhood and I really don't like this anymore, or, you know, this outfit was really cute but now it doesn't fit me anymore, and just really kind of doing a deep, like, you know, KonMari purge of my, you know, room, I think would be a really good idea, just because, I don't know, I feel like I have so much stuff and I'm pretty minimalistic as it is. Like, I really enjoy gifts and presents that are not, like, I like them to have purpose. I really don't like getting presents that just kind of sit on my shelf. It's just really hard for me to find purpose out of them, so I really like getting more meaningful gifts. So I think just kind of going through my room and kind of purging anything that is not really serving me a purpose anymore and not bringing me joy. You know, it's a new year, you know, the crappy year of, you know, 2020 is over, so I think I would like to start 2021 with more of a intention of, you know, going through all of my stuff and just, you know, making sure everything has a purpose. The next thing is Jesus. Yes, Jesus, my man. So I don't have a good relationship with him right now. I've been a Christian most of my life. I have switched between different religions just because I never thought that Christianity would like do it for me and never felt right. But now as I try to find my walk with the Lord again and kind of getting closer to him again, I want to start reading my Bible. I have a Facebook group that I'm a part of on my personal Facebook, which not for you guys, but just my personal Facebook. And someone has like these photos where every month it's like a different theme in the Bible, and there's like every day there's like a different verse. And I really would like to be able to sit down in a new journal that I bought and be able to, you know, journal about those different Bible verses and just, you know, kind of work on getting closer to God, just because because I think it's really important, and I'm kind of tired of going back and forth between religions and just feeling like I don't have that relationship. And it's obviously, at least for me, in my personal opinion, it's like the most important relationship, you know, no matter what religion you are. If you are of a religion, you know, obviously with your God, your creator, whatever you believe in, you know, it's important, you know, it's something that keeps you grounded spiritually. So that is something that I would like to work on. The next thing is kind of an eating disorder recovery one, but it's more consistent water intake. I always have a habit of not just water intake, but a lot of other things where I drink, water really good for like a week. I get all the amount of liquid that I need, and then I'll just kind of dive off the deep end for a little while, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I should probably start drinking more water again, and my dietitian yells at me. So I really, want to work on keeping water intake consistent, just because like things like coffee and soda just dehydrate your body naturally. So I really want to keep up the water because, I want to keep my skin looking good, and, I don't want my hands to be super dry all the time, and just, stuff that's just not fun, So that's something else I'd like to work on. The next one kind of goes with the yoga one that I mentioned I'd come back to, is mindfulness. I really want to start appreciating my surroundings and, the smell of coffee in the morning, or how good a yoga stretch feels, or just being mindful of what's around me and what kind of activities I'm doing. I think that it's just really important. I don't want to go through my life kind of numb and where you're not paying attention to anything, and you're so busy in the hustle and bustle of life that you don't really sit down to focus on, like, is the sun shining through your room, and is it really pretty? Or when you put on, I don't know, something warm out of the dryer, like I love taking blankets out of the dryer and they're super warm, and just taking little gratitude minutes to just appreciate those things. So I want to work on that. This is a big one. I am a huge perfectionist, and it translates in my eating disorder quite often, but I just get, really frustrated easily, and that's because of my perfectionism. Whenever I believe that something should be working a certain way, and it doesn't work out that way, like if you're trying to put something together and it doesn't work, the pieces aren't fitting, the screw gets stripped, I get really frustrated. I feel like, well, this should work and I know it works, so why isn't it working? And I kind of beat myself up for it. So this year I would really like to work on my perfectionism and being okay with making mistakes and just doing things that, may make me uncomfortable because I want them to be perfect, but, nothing is ever perfect. Humans are never perfect. We're all flawed. So I really want to work on just being okay with it. I'm actually really into video games. I love video games, and I don't finish them a lot because I get frustrated. I feel like, well, I'm not perfect at this level. I couldn't beat the boss in this first try, and I don't want to be like that. I feel like I'm missing out on enjoying the process of doing things instead of expecting the perfection. So that is something I really need to work on, because that's been something that I've been struggling with for a long time, and I don't really want to be struggling with it anymore. And I guess kind of going along with that, just finishing what I start. That's probably why I don't finish books, because I just quit halfway through, or I finish, a video game only to 75% and it gets too hard, so I stop playing. So this is something I want to work on. It's just finishing what I start, and consistently doing projects and working towards, completing them to my level of ability, instead of, basing it on, well, so-and-so on YouTube has done this project perfectly, so now I have to do it perfectly. And I think that with the mindfulness that I really want to work on, it'll make me just enjoy doing everything so much more, because I'm not expecting so much of myself. And I really would like to learn a language. I'm kind of leaning toward Japanese, just because I really love their culture and I have been there once before. But I'm kind of leaning towards also Korean or Chinese, but then again, I don't really know. My dad used to speak Latin, so you know, that's probably more out of my realm, and some stuff like Spanish feels more practical. So if you guys have any suggestions of a language that is fun to learn or that's not too grammatically challenging, I know a lot of the Asian languages are pretty challenging. I'm just really not good at grammar. I speak a little bit of German already. I shouldn't even say a little bit of German. I've had like 8 years of German, so I can speak German. But at the same time, I kind of want to learn an Asian language, but I'm kind of open to anything, so I'll have to look more into that. But that is also a goal of mine. It's just to do a little light learning. I kind of like going back to the expectations. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to learn a language because it does take time and it is a lot of hard work, but I think it would be really fun to kind of challenge my brain in a different way and to have something that I can kind of visibly see the progress on. So, and then the last thing, the never-ending problem, finance. I really want to work on my finance and my financials because every time I get a chunk of money, I tend to spend it right away. It's not on junk, it's just stuff that I've been wanting, and finally once I get that money, I'm like, oh great, now I can buy these things that I've wanted. But right now I don't have a job, so I really can't be afforded to be doing that, and I really want to actually be more mindful again of, you know, what do I actually want to buy, what do I want to spend my money on, and, you know, just working towards, you know, being able to have money come in and only buying 1 or 2 things and still having some money left over where I don't feel like that everything I want I have to buy immediately. So that was a long list. I believe when I counted earlier, there were 13 different resolutions. Will I do all of them? Probably not, but I'm hoping that because I wrote them down in my little journal that I use for this channel, I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually accomplish all of them. So really looking forward to that, and I would love to hear your guys' New Year's resolutions, if you even do resolutions. I know some people, you know, don't do them. They think they're stupid, or they have a better reason, of course, too, maybe why they don't do them. But I would love to hear in a comment down below, like, what you guys are working on this year, if you're working on more habits, if you're just changing your mindset, if there's actually like a more tangible goal, like reading a certain amount of books, or, you know, learning a language that you're working on. And also drop this video a like if you want to see more videos like this that are more lifestyle related. It really helps me out. It kind of helps me to see what you guys are interested in. And obviously don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button, and I already plugged all my socials earlier, so if you're interested in following any of those. But if not, I get it, they're still growing. There's not much out there, but always appreciate even if you just take a look. So thank you so much for watching, and my little happy hello for today, I would have to say it was my coffee. I'm filming this at like noon in my time where I live, so not much has happened yet today, but making my coffee this morning smelled so good and it just made me more excited to drink it. So that was my little happy hello this morning. So also, when you're leaving a comment about your resolutions, let me know what are you saying a happy hello to, or even, you know, a happy goodbye. You know, we welcome saying goodbye to things as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.